Hi, my name is Daniel DiMacaulay. I've been involved with Enagi now since a little bit after summer of 2007. My background is sales and marketing, professional consulting, business owner. And prior to Enagi, I was chairman and chief executive officer of two large companies in Orange County for the past decade and a half. Okay? When I first saw this, it wasn't something I wanted to do. I got involved by accident, and I didn't really want to see it because I thought it was another one of these, rinky-dink, door-to-door, multi-level, pyramid, illegal, last business you get into before you commit suicide kind of thing. However, whenever, successful people, I do know this, they check things out. Okay, so that's what I did. We checked things out. And whenever considering a business opportunity, a career change, for part-time venture, maybe a profit center, or any venture to create additional incomes, you got to take a look at 5 different things: the company, the products, the need, the marketing plan, and the timing. I want to show you why we chose this one, why I chose this one. And by the way, it took 7 months of research with a lot of people before I got involved in this. Let me show you, coming from an experience viewpoint, why this is big, why this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us, and why you're not going to see another one like this one. Okay, you probably already have what you're looking for in your hands. One more time, this is coming from an experienced viewpoint. All right, you're involved in a developing mega trend, and a trend is something that everybody will be involved in. Something everyone will own, something that's about to explode in the industry. It's a direction, it's a movement, it's a flow. Okay, and I think you and I are involved in a mega trend, and it's created by media, the news, radio, people telling people, the internet, etc. Okay, I believe you're looking at the next kitchen appliance that everyone will own. I think you're looking at the next consumer trend, sort of like the microwave when nobody had it, or the trash compactor in the kitchen when nobody had it, or any of these kitchen utensils that you see that no one has right now. You're looking at something that 1 out of every 6 homes in Japan has, and no one in the United States has right now. All right, now let me show you what a trend looks like. It starts out in the beginning, okay, and then it moves to the top. You see it? Okay, the money is made in the middle, just like computers, cell phones, laptops. I don't care what it is. All right, if you can get involved in the beginning part, that's where the money is made. 98% of the people out there get involved when it's a saturated marketplace, when everybody has one. Well, like when you bought your iPhone, okay? You weren't the first one. You weren't even the 10,000 one. You were about the 10th million, right? So again, you got to get involved in a product that no one has, that everybody will have. All right? Let me show you a couple of the things about the product. There's no selling involved. That's why it works. Everybody knows what water is. There's no false claims. A lot of people pay for it right now, but the main thing is everybody understands it. Next, take a look at all the ingredients that are there. They're all correct. The company, the product. Here, let me go over it. First of all, the company behind you. It's Enagi. Just go to Enagi.com. This is a company that's over 4 decades in business. It's an original equipment manufacturer. It's a billion-dollar operation with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of employees supporting the distributor base. And they're all over the world. Their products, absolutely spectacular. When I first saw this, I thought it was a water filter. I did not know that the company made water technology equipment that produces water in different grades, all the way up to even medical grade products. That's the flagship product, the SD501. That's the product that launched everything. Today they have the Platinum, they have the Kangen 8. But I think, one more time, that product and up, you're looking at the Mercedes-Benz. There's a lot of competition out there, but that's the top one. It has all the credentials. And the compensation plan is so unique, It's been patented globally. Imagine a compensation plan where you can make $285 on a commission and $285 on overrides on sales of your organization, all the way up to $1,710. Imagine making $1,710 on a very simple sale where you get paid for immediately. And also, if somebody below you in your organization sells it, you can get paid all the way from $1,700 down to $285. I mean, the marketing plan, the bonus programs, you need to take a look at the bonus programs. And the main thing is, on an entrepreneur checklist, all the lights are green. All the way up to, it's something that's simple and very, very duplicatable. And the hardest part is the infrastructure has been completely built already. This is a brand new company that's going global. No one knows about it. They have less than a 1% market penetration in all of North America. I believe it's less than 0.1%, and your timing is absolutely correct. That's the main thing about it. So understand what we're all in, what we all have, the potential you have in your hands. Then you need to get motivated, take action, get training, learn the business, get involved. But the main thing is take action. And, to close this out, basically, if you're looking for a vehicle that can take you where you want to go financially in life, looking at Enagi, I believe you're looking at the best set of wheels on the road. Good luck with it. This is a training for all Enagi distributors who truly want to succeed in their business. I recommend that you see it over and over again until you learn it, understand it, and truly understand the information. First of all, what do you want from your Enagi business? You just started a business. Why are you doing this? Are you doing it for the money? How much? Are you doing it for certain materialistic things? What are they? Okay, you need to have a target. Let me tell you something. Having the goal creates the passion. And you need passion in this business to succeed in it. And what creates the passion, the torch for the passion, are goals, financial goals, material goals, personal goals, the position you want. It is important to establish your targets, make them realistic. Don't make them out of line. They got to be believable, and then write them down, have it planned out, be specific, and make sure the goal is attainable in your mind. Okay? Next, what business are we actually in? Do you understand the business? Okay? We are in the direct sales marketing arena. One more time, we are in direct sales. Yes, it has multi-level implications. Yes, you get paid on distributors below you, but no, it does not pay by levels. It pays by points. It doesn't have the traditional things that MLM companies have. We're involved in a high technology water equipment industry. We're in the business of introducing Kangen water to the world, healthy water, and we are in the people business. Now, it's important to learn what business you're actually in. It's important to fine-tune your communication skills because you are in the people business, and sell yourself on your business. Again, remember your goals because that creates the passion. All right? Remember, this is a direct sales program. You can earn money without recruiting. Imagine you can get paid $285 to $1,710 on a personal sale. You don't have to explain multi-level explanation the traditionally, hey, if you get 5 people who get 5, who get 5, you've heard them before. There are no distributor fees. There are no things to put into your garage. There's no left side, right side. This auto ship that, for you and all of your customers going into your garage. There's no product loading. There's no expensive samples. Enagi is a true direct sales program, and it's perfect for entrepreneurs, business owners, just people who are trying to get ahead. All right. Next, what do we do in Enagi? Well, we share products. All right. And the reason we share the products is to sell them, and we make commissions. We share the opportunity so we can recruit, build an organization, and get overrides. And then we sell events to be able, we build events, okay, to be able to solidify our group. And that's the basics. Now, if you want to get to the key part of making money, you need to teach the duplication method. You have to be able to teach, duplicate, to be able to expand. It's important to understand that everything we do falls into these three categories: sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, and building events for our group. You must become skilled in these areas if you plan on becoming a successful 6A. And if you want to build a solid and, organization that's extremely profitable, you need to be able to teach the duplication methods. Remember, the hardest part of this business, we look for people that'll listen to your story. Look for people who'll try your water. Knowing what to do when you find them, doing it, taking action, and then developing productive habits. That's basically what we do in this business. And for some people, it's hard. For some people, it's easy. But if you're going to succeed in this business, you need to learn how to do these parts right here. And if you actually look at it, to learn how to do those 5 things, to be able to earn a profit or earnings of, tens of thousands of dollars, potential 6-figure and plus income in a business, that's phenomenal, because this is the hardest part that we do, which is absolutely nothing. Now, last question is, how long does it take to to reach 6A? Some people say, hey, how long does it take me to get to that top level? Well, normal time frame is 18 to 24 months. This is for someone who's committed, they have a real plan, they have a team effort, and a never quit attitude. That's the average, by the way. If you look at all the 6As in Enagi, the average goes 18 to 24. Now, there's people that go fast, less than 12 months. Hey, you know what? They probably came in with a team. They've probably been in some kind of direct sales or network marketing organization where they have a team that they can bring in. And, they have a solid game plan. The hyperdrive, less than 6 months, I watch out for those people, because a lot of those people come in and then they leave. Now, there are some that have been here for, 10 years, okay? So hyperdrive, that's very unusual, by the way. That takes a lot of all-out massive action. That's AOMA, luck, commitment. You have to have a team. You can't do that without a team. The average doesn't go 6A. You can be an average person, but you need an above average attitude. You need an above average desire to earn more money. You need an above average commitment. You have to have above average goals. So again, the average normally doesn't make it. Okay? How long does it take to reach 6A? That depends on you. But I can tell you what, everybody can do that. What are the most important areas of my business? Basically, you control the key, the emotional up and down rides, and the time to build a real business. Because some people get involved, they don't succeed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 months, a year, and they quit. No, this is a business. It takes 2 years in a normal business just to get your money back. It takes 3 to 4 years to start making money. Okay, even to become a professional, whether it's a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer, it takes years of school. This is the same thing here. You have a business that can earn you 6-figure incomes. Give it time and be patient, all right? Can you do this business? Well, do you see the potential? Do you see the potential for yourself? Are you willing to learn, sell, and work? And do you have a real desire to create financial freedom? In other words, whatever your goal is in life, how are you going to do it? This is the easiest, the best, and the most duplicatable program I've found. And if you can say yes to all 6 of those questions, then you can do this program. The first lesson is treat it like a business. Be committed to the business. Get educated. There'll be positives and negatives. Hey, make it a 2-year project, then look back and see where you are. Don't go from project to project, like this multi-level people that go from deal to deal. All successful people have one thing in common, and that's time, longevity. They're committed. They understand the potential. Being in business for yourself is what your mind frame needs to be. And the second lesson, develop a forward mode, no retreat mentality. Forward mode, no retreat. Become independent as fast as possible, because you can do this by yourself no matter what area you're in, no matter what support system you have, because it's all available to you. And the 5 things you need a desire, you need to have belief in the company, you yourself, the people you work with. You have to become trainable. I don't care how cool you are. You need to begin and to learn this business from the beginning, and then apply what the top people are doing, and then don't quit. Those are the 5 things you need when you start. My name is Daniel. I hope I see you at the top of this business. Okay, building this business takes 3 simple skills. So let's get started. First of all, you want to master what we do. Don't complicate things. Okay? There are 3 basic skills that you need to learn and duplicate. And the reason you don't want to complicate it is because this is a program where you earn money. The biggest money comes from your overrides. And to be able to get overrides from everybody in your organization, they have to be able to duplicate what you do. So you could, you might be one of these top-notch salespeople out there, but I'll tell you what, somebody below you is not going to be able to be as sharp as you are, and then you'll have a breakdown. So you want to just share these skills. 1, you need to learn how to share the product. Then you need to learn how to share the opportunity, and then you have to learn how to build and promote events. Sharing the products is simple. Talk to everyone about it. Pretend you started a business, a restaurant. What would you do? You want to talk to everybody about it. Okay? If you started a new bakery, you want everybody to have samples. Use your memory jogger, make a list, and then if you want, invite guests to live demos, and always be on the lookout for prospects. In this business, it's very simple. Who do you know that drinks water? And who do you know that may benefit from the water? Okay, introduce yourself, your prospect to the water. Tell your story or tell somebody else's story. Provide the information, DVD, try the water. If you go to the Google or YouTube, there's a lot of demonstrations there regarding the water. Pat Boone, Bob Gradelli. And by the way, this is not the time for you to try and be selling the water. Remember, this is a product-driven program. If they believe in the product and they see a demonstration, they are most likely to buy a unit. All right? This is the time to get them to try. Next, you got to refill it. If you're giving them 1 gallon or 2 gallons and you don't come back, it's no good. There's no miracle in this water. They're not going to start leaping tall buildings in a single bound, or running faster than a speeding bullet in 2 gallons. You got to get them more water. All right. This gives you an opportunity to tell another story, to drop another seed. All right. Next, exposure. Live meetings. Whenever you expose somebody to it, live meetings are the best. Group dynamics. There's a live demonstration. So luncheons and special events are the best time to show this, to take them here. It takes them beyond you. All right. Next, are they ready to order? Drop some hints. I'm going by the office. Do you want me to get your order? Hey, if you really want a machine, I'll show you how you can get it to pay for itself. A few sales. There are different ways to drop some hints, but I will tell you this. Your objective as a distributor is to create a profitable business through sales. It's not to be an Arrowhead truckman or some kind of Sparkletts bottle person. You're not there to give free water. Be aware of giving too much water without a sale at the end. Now, this question's going to come up. How long do you give somebody water? Well, you know what? I've given water to somebody for 1 month. I've given somebody water for 7 months. Two of my top distributors, it was 7 months before they bought the machine. I've given water to somebody for over a year before they bought a machine. I don't know how long, but you know what? It'll depend upon you, and you'll know. You know, when you start getting tired of always giving water without a sale, you'll know. All right. The person that shares the most water, though, basically they're gonna, it's like, hey, the person that has the most bait in the water, okay, they're gonna sell the most units. The organization that does this, the team leader who does that, and the distributor that does all these things, they're going to earn most of the money in the business. Next, you got to share the business. This is the second thing we do. The best way to do this is through a live business overview. Bring them to a meeting. If you can't bring them to a meeting, get them a DVD. You know, the first one we did with Pat Boone, that was great. The one we did with Answers for a Thirsty World, that was a great one. The newest one that we've done, Timing, Do You Believe in It? I think that's one of the best ones. But if you have these business things in your hand, these are tools you need so you're able to give them out. You can show them online. You can go to Google and take a look at a presentation. But I can tell you this, the best is a live business overview. Nothing like it. Also, you want to get the conversation started when you're sharing the opportunity. You know, hey, I'm looking for a partner in a new business venture. Instead of saying, I want you to go to a meeting. Hey, I'm thinking of getting involved in a new business and I need your opinion. I need your help. See, instead of saying, hey, I'd like you to go to a meeting. Nobody wants to go to a meeting. But if you say something like, you know, I need a partner for something. I want you to take a look at something. And then you end it, by the way, do you drink water? That's the best way. Remember, giving the water out creates the bridge for you to come back over and over again to be able to sell the opportunity. If you're doing the business correctly, what will happen is changes will happen within you. Your clothes, your car, everything, and they'll see that as you're giving them the water, and the water, you coming back creates a bridge. The last thing, you must create and promote events for your group. Training seminars, conference calls. You have to have an organization meeting. In the beginning, you want to join somebody else's meetings, or you always want to join the big ones. But you also have to have independent meetings for your own group. You know, training events, independent luncheons. So again, that's what we do in this business. The key to making your business successful is doing those things consistently, learning those things consistently, and training those things consistently. And this can all happen because it is a duplicatable method. Now, in summary, 1, make your business a priority. Don't be messing with this thing. I mean, if not this, what else are you going to do? All right? Make this one the one you're going to earn 6-figure incomes on. There are people doing it left and right. Next, do the basics. Why? Because you want your people doing the basics. If you're going to do some fancy dancy James Bond stuff, man, do it in your own cave, you know, the bat cave. Don't be doing it outside. Outside, you share the product, share the opportunity, build events. Study the training materials so you know what you're talking about. Always be at the meeting so your people know you're at the meetings, and report to yourself. In other words, be accountable to someone. Be accountable to yourself, okay? Those are the business basics of the, industry. That's how you build your business, and good luck to you. Okay. Let's learn the Enagi marketing plan. As I'm going through this, I'm going to show you also how to build the best possible way, okay? So first of all, let's understand the goal. The goal is to create a successful, long-term, fun, and profitable business. The key word being business. This is not a sales job. This is not something that, you're looking day to day, okay? You're building a business, and a business, remember, takes time. As an Enagi distributor, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have all these tools, all these help around you, but you still initiate and create your own momentum, okay? Now, Where can you get some of this information? Enagi website, some of the DVDs out there, some of the brochures. You can Google training. You can probably search it on YouTube. And best of all are the training events. But let me tell you the best thing to do. You want to go over this training over and over and over again. And you want your organization to continue to go over it because you learn something every time. Today's training is going to be on the SD501, the flagship product. All right? Now, the best thing about the marketing plan, you don't have to understand it. All you have to do is learn how to give water away in the beginning, and you learn it as you go. As you move forward, you learn, better understand it, and also you'll learn the power of the business plan and learn how to maximize the money. But in the beginning, just learn how to give away the water and learn the plan as you go along. I can tell you this right now. It took me several years to learn the bonuses. And we were earning a lot of money in this business, and I didn't really know how. All I know is if I did this, I got this money, so I kept doing that. All right, let's begin here. To become an Enagi distributor, basically there's two ways, right? You can have somebody buy a unit, they have an application, and you're the sponsor. The second way is, let's say you have somebody who doesn't have the money to get in. They don't have the down payment, they don't have the cash, they don't have anything, but they do want to become a distributor and they have a product sale. Okay, now remember this, option B still requires a sale. So again, those are the two ways. Somebody can come in the A and the B. All right, I've never recommended the B. Let me show you why. The positives about the B, the Tokurai program, is somebody comes in, right? Hey, now they can now sell. They become a distributor by riding somebody else's sale. The negatives are they don't have a machine. They don't have a way to get fresh water. They don't make special points. In other words, the $50 per point, they don't get that on their own commission, and they don't get that below them. And then $75 is taken out per point. So instead of earning $285, they're earning $160 per point. Instead of $570, they're only earning $320. Okay, it requires 100% sponsor or support. So my suggestion is, if somebody wants to get in the business, you two figure out a way for that guy to get into the business, somehow get the down payment and bring that person in. Now, here's an overview of the marketing plan. All right. Now, remember, you can get paid commissions of $285 to $1710, and you can get paid all the way up to $1710 overrides $285 to $1710 as long as the points are available in that lane. When I say the points are available, I'll explain that in a second, but the marketing plan is so unique. It's got a patent worldwide on a compensation plan. That's unheard of, by the way, in the direct selling and multi-level industry, because it's not one of those pyramids. I want you to understand something about the marketing plan. They don't pay by levels, they pay by points. There's no pyramid explanation. There's no exponential growth. It's a direct sales program. The two business models are completely different. Now, on the SD501, they pay 8 points. Each point is $285. And the way you get to the $285 is there's a $235 actual sales commission, and then added to that 35 on every point is $50, what they call special bonus. Now, I'll explain the special bonus in a second, but the marketing plan overview looks like this, okay? First off, on your first 2 lanes, you make $285 commission when you start it. And you make $285 every time somebody below you sells a unit, as long as the 8 points are available. So if somebody in your 4th level, for example, sells a unit and there's 8 points available, you get $285. You cannot earn more than $285 on those first 2 lanes. On your third personal sale, remember, you have to sell a unit personally to start a lane. You now get promoted to $570. You're now a 2-point agent. And you get from 570 down to 285 as long as the points are available. When your group gets 10 sales, you now move to 855. Imagine that. You're getting 3 of those points. And if you, let's say you sell another sale, you're opening up another 855 lane and another 855 lane until you get to 20 sales. Once you get 20 sales in your group, even if you only sold 4, let's say, and there's 16 sales in your group, on your very next sale, you open up your own promotion. You're now a 4-point agent. You make $1,140. Are you listening to that? $1,140 on every sale and $1,140 commissions, overrides below you on sales below you, whether you're there or not, as long as the points are available. Once your group gets 50 sales, a total, okay, you now move to the next lane, which is 5 points. Now, let me make one notation on the marketing plan. You cannot go backwards. Once you're a 4A, you can only stay 4A. Even if you didn't do anything for the next whatever, okay, on your very next sale, you become a 5A, as long as your group has 50 sales. You can never go back to 3A once you're a 4. Once you're a 4, you can only go to 5. And once you're a 5A, once you get 100 in your group, now you're at the top of the game. You're a 6-point agent. You make $1,710 every time you sell one. And when that person below you sells one, because there's 8 points available, they get 1 point, you get 6, so you still get paid $1,710. Imagine that. Unbelievable marketing plan. The Enagi marketing plan, one more time, it does not pay by levels. It pays by points. And because 8 times 285 becomes 2280, that's what they pay out, okay? Enagi 8 points are on product sales. It's $235 basic commission, $50 special points. Now, let me tell you about the $50 special points. This is awarded, but remember, it's special points. You have to qualify for this. You have to make one direct sale, personal sale, every 90 days. Either that or, by the way, there is the one in the 90 days, okay? January 1st, March 31st, okay? 5/8, 8/5. So that's rolling 90 days. If you're not making a sale every 90 days, and by the way, if you're not making a sale every 90 days, there's a lot of reasons for it, but one of the main reasons is you're not passionate about your business. Because I can't see you owning a shoe store or a coffee shop or a motorcycle shop or a suit store and without selling one suit every 90 days. Obviously, you're not into your business, okay? But if you're on the UConn in Enagi, that will qualify you for the special points automatically, as long as you're enrolled in the UConn program. And by the way, that's another story, okay? Now, the Enagi marketing plan is based on ranks, and ranks are achieved by making personal sales. You are the only one who can start your own lanes, okay? Here, there's the ranks, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4. Each one of them pays different. There are only 6 rankings in Enagi, and you become a 1A distributor by making your first sale, okay? The letter A, by the way, stands for agent. There's only one required rule in the marketing plan. Each distributor has to have two 1A lanes. Your 1A lane, you have to have 2 of them. The 2A lane, you can have 1, 3, 5. You know, the 4A lane, you can have none. If your group does the sale, you still get promoted. But the 1A lane, you have to have 2 of them. We only make money 3 ways. On our own sales, on the sales of the people below us, and bonuses and incentives that the company has, okay? The maximum points available are by your rank. If you're a 1A, you can only make 285. If you're a 3A, every time you sell one, you can only make 855. All right? And by the way, the number of points that you get in your overrides always depends on which lane it is at and how much that lane. Here's the question. Can you make more than 855 on the 3A lane? I want you to take a look at 855, 3A. Take a look at it. Can you make more than 855 there? No. Why? Because it's a 855 711. Okay? Just like the 2A. Doesn't matter if there's a billion sales in that 2A lane, you can only make $570 a billion times. That's it. So again, every time, now once you get to 6A, all your lanes are now 1710. And remember, you can never go backwards. You can also skip lanes. Let's say you sponsored Bob and Sue, and Bob sold 30 units and Sue sold 20 in their group. That's 50 units. On your very next sale, you're now a 5-point agent, which makes you make 1,400 and a quarter. You've skipped the 2, 3, and 4. Let's say you sold your 2 1As and you've sold 3 2As, but in that group there's only 10 sales total. Your next sale would be 3A. So again, you can skip lanes and you can move up by selling it by yourself. But remember, take a look at this point layout. Might be confusing, but let's start at the bottom. Take out the bottom, okay? You're at the top. You're a 4-point agent, which means you should be getting 1140. But let's say the person below you, okay, makes their first sale, right? There's 8 points available. Jim's the one that's, Jim gets 1 point. Bill gets 1 point. Tom gets 2 points. Well, there's 4 points available, so you'd still get your 1140. But let's pretend you're a 5A, and it's the same scenario below you. You'd still get paid only 1140 because there's only 4 points available. They do not pay by levels, okay? Available points, remember, becomes less as a result of deeper and wider groups. However, this is what gets you to the big bonuses. Now, let me just explain a little bit over here about the Enagi financing, because a lot of people don't like this, okay? You know what? They see the Enagi financing, they're seeing, wow, I only get paid the upfront points. Remember, this creates, as a business person, the most important thing in a business, and that's what we call receivables. Don't forget that. It gives you continuous income, all to unseen profits. A business cannot survive without the receivables. Remember, you're here to build a business. Now, for the people who want to get paid, hey, they got speedy pay. They pay you the next day on your personal sales. Let's say 48 hours or even 72 hours. But your first goal, remember, act like you're brand new. I don't care where you're looking at this, okay? Here's the first goal. Go get your first 3 people. If you're brand new, go get your first 3 people, because this earns you from over a grand, and if you're a 6A, it earns you over 5 grand. But if you're brand new, this brings you into the 540 lane. And if you help your 3 distributors do this, okay, you paid for your machine. So your first target is to get your first 3 sales and then help the 3 that are off and running. If none of the 3 are off and running, go get another one, until you can get one who wants to get their first 3. Now, if you're not selling units, basically you don't have any prospects on the water. Okay? Let's just figure it out this way. What if you're a fisherman and you're not catching any fish? All right? You probably don't have any bait in the water. Let's look at that first. So here you don't have any prospects on the water. Second, you have prospects on the water, but maybe they're not drinking it, or there may be whatever excuse. You need to anchor. And anchoring means getting the people they know. Who do they know that pay for water? Who do they know that might be able to get benefits from the water? You need to anchor below, because I cannot tell you how many sales are created below before the one in front buys. Okay. Third, you're not getting any prospects to a live demo, because you got to take them beyond you. You're focused on selling instead of sharing. That's another thing. Okay, if a lot of people are saying no to you, it's because you're trying to sell instead of leading with the product. And last, you're not basically you're not you're going after the wrong market. You're not going after the right people. I don't care who you are in this business, okay? If you're going after the wrong market, you're going to have a hard time. So go find people who pay for water. Go find people who drink a lot of water. Go find people who might benefit from the water. And if you go to that marketplace and share the water, I can assure you, you're going to get a lot of sales. Two, if your organization is not growing, you're not doing enough of number one, you're not helping your new recruit. If you sign somebody up and you leave them alone, they're gonna die. So you need to help them out if you want them to succeed. If you don't have any leaders, okay, your organization's not going to grow. So you need to keep recruiting. They are out there. You just have to keep firing until you get some. You have not created a team concept. There's no organization meeting. You're not building events. And last, your team is not plugged into the system. Normally, if an organization's not growing, they're not plugged into all the systems that Enagi provides, okay? So remember these important facts one last time. The person that shares the water, the organization that shares the water, the team leader who does this, they're the people who are going to create the most sales, the most organizations, the most profit. And this is truly the best way to maximize the marketing plan and earn the most money in Enagi. Okay? Share the water, help your team, and be patient. Give it a couple of years and you'll create a very successful business. Okay. I'm now going to show you some important things and give some personal advice regarding building your Enagi business. I want to point out that there are several ways, methods, and systems that top leaders build their organizations. Top Enagi leaders train different ways. I've been asked which one is correct, which one is good. The answer is they're all good trainings. Okay, they're all correct trainings. What you want to do is get yourself exposed to as much training as possible. Find out which one works for you, which one will be comfortable. Make sure that the trainer is walking their talk. In other words, they're committed to the Enagi program. Are they building? Are they doing what they're teaching? Okay, what's their rank? And then you want to keep learning. For those who find this informative and helpful, and for the people who are actually wanting to build a successful business, I suggest you watch it at least 5 times and have your organization do the same. It will definitely help you in creating a profitable and successful Enagi business, okay? Much success to you. First off, let me ask you a question. Have you ever started your own business? Do you know the real benefits of having a business? Or even if you have a full-time job, all right, having a part-time business that you own. I'm asking you this because I want you to get passionate about your Enagi business. I want you to take it seriously because what it can do for your lifestyle, and I want you to succeed, okay? So let me give you the benefits of owning your own business first of all. Okay, there's what we call wages versus profits. Okay, wages makes you a living, profits can make you a fortune. So that's what the Enagi program provides. There's linear income versus leverage income. You see, in Enagi, you get both. Linear income is something you have to do to produce income, like a job. I don't care if you're a high top level executive, an attorney, a doctor. If you're a doctor and you stop doctoring, right? Well, your income stops. That's linear income. You're trading time for dollars. Leveraged income is money you make whether you're there or not, whether you're working there or not, whether you're present or not present. That's what investments are all about, okay? Leverage income. In your own business, it can create leverage income. You have control of your destiny. You build your own dream, freedom of time. I mean, to me, the best thing is freedom of time. The tax advantages, unbelievable. And it's just creating your own legacy and, you know, a stress-free lifestyle. So those are the benefits of owning your own business that you make successful. Okay? Now, in the Enagi business, let's begin to build. You want to build your foundation and framework out of the finest materials so you avoid problems later. Let me give you some things, okay? There are 3 types of people in this business that you're going to talk to, that you're going to have join your organization. There's the live ones. These are people who are excited, they're motivated, you know, they're at the meeting before you are. They're the ones calling you, okay? They set goals. In other words, you can see the effort. They're saying, you know, they're bringing people to the meetings. They want to get started. Then there's what they call the wounded. These are the ones who are interested, you know, they talk a lot, they always tell you what they're going to do, but then, you know, you just got to watch that. And then there's the walking dead. These are distributors of record who show no sign of life. Now, if you're a distributor who's been in the business about a year now, I bet you know what I'm talking about, because some of you have an organization of walking dead. It's like the movie, okay? Now, you remember one thing, build your superstructure with live ones. Remember, you're the ones bringing them in, so you want to have your structure with live ones. Let me give you some recruiting techniques. There are 3 areas where you're going to recruit. There's the hot market. That's your people you know, friends, family, etc. Warm market, acquaintances, people you see once in a while, okay? And then cold market, the new people, the things on flyers, people you've never met. I'm going to make this easier. I'm going to connect the hot and warm and make it just warm. These are people you know. Let me give you some advice. Stay with the warm side. I know people say, I don't have any warm market. No, you've been living on earth for 20, 30, 40 years, okay? Be real. You know some people, okay? That's just, let me tell you why. The majority, I will have to say at least 99.9% of the Enagi distributors in this business come in through the warm market. One more time, over 99%. 1% come from the cold market. Once in a while, you'll find somebody, they run an ad, they get a good person, etc. But again, 99% come from the warm market. The warm market will take your water. The warm market will talk to you. The cold market won't take your water. You're going to take water from a stranger and give it to your family. If you won't do it, what do you think somebody else in the mall is going to do it? There's no way, all right? And unless you have knowledge in recruiting and you have the funding and the office and all the things that make that work, try not to run advertisements, okay? Get started in the warm market. Friends, family, neighbors. Now, here's a question. Somebody always says, am I starting with my friends and relatives because I'm going to make money on them? No, absolutely not. I want you to listen to something. 95% of the people that will make you the majority of your money in this business right this second, you don't know them yet. One more time, 95% of the people where your biggest money will come from, right this second, you don't know them yet. You want to start with your warm market because they will give you practice. Some of them will buy. And if you have a good product, you want to start out with your warm market, okay? Now, always be on the lookout, however, when you're out there. Always be prepared. Have some tools with you. I don't care what tools you buy. Have them with you so that when somebody is interested or you see somebody who might have the potential to be a great distributor, you are prepared. You can pull out, your 007 card or whatever. So again, and then be confident, man. Nothing's going to happen. What are they going to say? I'm not interested? Hey, go for it. That's the worst thing that can happen. You can't fall off a building. You can't get shot at. You don't have to run into a burning building. Nothing, man. The worst thing that can happen is somebody says, no, I'm not interested. So if I were you, I would get loaded with a lot of tools and bring them out just like you just started the business. Hey, just go for it, okay? Now, let me give you some things a lot of people don't know at Enagi. The framework is the people that you sponsor directly. It says sponsor and it's your name that's there. That's your framework, okay? That's your foundation. The framework are people below that. So this is a blueprint of your entire framework. You can see it. All right, below the green dots, you want to anchor. In other words, when you get somebody in the business, let's say number one's name is Bob. You want to make sure that you anchor below Bob and get 3 people so that if Bob decides not to do the business, that line is secure. All right, that's how you secure a line so that you don't have to keep starting over and over again. So try to anchor each lane, but that's what your framework should look like. All right, now when you're building, are you building foundation or framework? Some people ask me, should I go sideways or depth? Okay, remember this: sideways for profit, depth for security. All right, we'll go over that in another training. Now, when we're building, what are you building with? Where's your blueprint? Do you have a piece of paper that has round circles on it so you can put the name of the person you sponsor? All right. Again, when is your job finished? You know what? In this business, I want to answer that last one. Your job is never finished. It's never finished. It's a business. All right. If you want to make 6 figures yearly in this business, okay, your job is never finished. You can just, however, you can be in maintenance mode like a lot of the people are on, all right? Build with live ones, remember that. Directly refer 10. Try to get 10 frontline people. I know, try to get 10 frontline people. It'll activate your organization. Then get your 10, firmly rooted by anchoring below them. In other words, helping them get 3 people. And then along the way, train them to duplicate. Okay? Now let me give you some information regarding your recruiting time. Your recruiting time, always in the beginning, it's a lot and you get nobody. As you move forward, 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years, your recruiting time will be very small and your organization and money will become big. So I'm trying to tell you, give it time. And in the beginning, you're putting in a lot, but I'm telling you right now, the people in this business that do what they need to do now, okay, so that later on they can do what others can't do. All right? Now, when you recruit somebody, remember, give them some exposure, 5 to 7 days. Don't give somebody a meeting and then wait 2 weeks for another meeting. Business briefing, conference calls, maybe a DVD, a website. In other words, give them some exposure, continuous exposure. That's what gets somebody interested. All right, now when you bring them to a meeting or to the office or to whatever, make them comfortable. They're out of their comfort zone. If there's a lot of distributors, introduce them to the distributors and to the leaders. Do not leave them alone, especially during meetings. I watch people bring people to meetings and then they stand up during the meeting. You must sit down with the guest, all right? And then maybe have lunch and dinner afterwards, before or after, all right? Remember, the business briefing is where you sell yourself, the Enagi program. You have group dynamics, and the career potential will show. Have materials for them to take home so they bring the meeting home with them. And then make sure that they break the ice. Make friends. Get them in a comfort zone. All right?
Remember, 5 exposures in 7 to 10 days. Introduce them to your team. Set a specific game plan for that person, First 3 sales, get them right away. Show the tools that are available and don't leave a new person alone. I'm going to give you one last statement. When you're building and you sponsor somebody, if you leave that person alone, they're going to die. All right? Walk them through the first few miles. I've been in Enagi for quite a while now. There are no lousy distributors. There are only lousy sponsors. Good luck. This is an advanced training segment. Watch it several times so you can fully understand the principles of the lessons. If you learn it, apply it, and continue to build your Enagi business, you can create an incredible, profitable, and long-lasting business. Power principle 1. When I sponsor somebody, broke has nothing to do with it. I hear a lot of people when they find somebody who doesn't have any money or who can't afford a unit or who can't get the down payment, all right, they all of a sudden, it stops them, all right? Let me tell you this. Over 90% of the distributors in the business probably were broke, probably couldn't afford it, okay? I'm talking about the distributors, not the ones that just bought the units, all right? So when somebody says they're broke, you want to move forward. What you want to do is get the water to their warm market. In other words, who do they know that can benefit from the water? Who do they know that they think is looking for a business that has income potential? Bring those people to a demo and a presentation, and I'm telling you this, if you get to somebody's warm market, a buyer always appears. Here's what it looks like. Okay, there's you. Let's say you sponsor somebody and they're broke. However, they have desire to do the business. That's what I look for. All right. What I do is I keep exposing that person to a meeting, a training, every time there's an Enagi event or maybe there's something on YouTube, I have them see. I continue to give them exposure. Simultaneously, I pretend that they already have the machine and I give the water to their warm market. All right. In other words, I'm anchoring below them. And I'm telling you, if you do that and you give water to their aunt, their uncle, their dad, their neighbor, their friend, a buyer always appears. All right? Now, what happens when a buyer appears? Well, that person either has to fish or cut bait. Either, sometimes I've told people, hey, I'm going to be sponsoring Bob, who you introduced me to, because he wants his machine right now. But when you get your machine, we'll go ahead and put you under Bob, they just need to be able to add to figure that one out. But again, don't give up just because somebody is broke. I cannot tell you how many leaders are out there that are in the business that were broke when they first started. I'm talking some of the top people out there, okay? So again, broke has nothing to do with it. Power principle number 2, it's the 1 versus 100 concept. When I sell a machine, I get excited. Yeah, I make a commission, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm not there to make one commission, whether it's $285 or $17.10. If I can talk that person, if I can motivate that person, if I can have that person see the benefits of becoming a distributor, the excitement, the financial potential, etc., okay, and I can talk them into doing this and hopefully becoming a 6A, you have to remember it takes 100 sales to become a 6A. So instead of getting 1 sale, I get 100 sales. Do you guys get it? All right. That's why every time I sponsor somebody, if they're only there to buy, well, I'll take the commission. But for me, wow, I'd rather have somebody who takes a look at the business and is willing to do the business and go 6A. Now I have the opportunity to earn 100 checks. Next is power principle number 3. When you're looking for winners, remember, winners are 8, 9s, and 10s. Whenever I sponsor somebody, I look at them as a 5, 6, or 7, and then I look for their memory jogger. If they're interested in the business, I start having them make a list. And once they make a list, I always ask them, rate each person. And I look for the 8, 9s, and 10s in their list. Who do they know that's better than them? Who do they know that's a go-getter? Who do they know that's a successful entrepreneur? Who do they know that's a business person maybe looking right now? I rate each person. We share the product with that person. We get that person to a demonstration. We explain the program, get information, and then we check the temperature. Are they interested or not? If they're not, it's next. If they are, we look for that person's memory jogger. You're looking for 8s, 9s, and 10s. Let me tell you about the business. If you sponsor 1, 2s, and 3s, 1, 2s, and 3s hang out with 1, 2s, and 3s. You're going to get a bunch of 1, 2s, and 3s in that organization. Unless you start looking upwards and upwards and upwards. If you sponsor 8, 9s, and 10s, most of those people hang out with 8, 9s, and 10s. It's just the way of life, all right? The bank president does not hang around with the custodian or the bank guard. The bank president hangs around with bank presidents and executives. The custodian hangs around with custodians. It's just the way it is. So if you want winners in your line, you got to look for winners because most of their contacts are winners. Power principle number 4, depth building. When you're depth building, when you sponsor A, you got to give them support, communication, encouragement. All right? Have them make a warm market list. But what happens is you now start sharing the water and bringing other people to the demonstration. Well, right now, A doesn't know anything. So what you have to do is you're the one that has to go to B. You're the one that has to support below. You keep going down until you look for winners. Again, let me tell you this, okay? Take a look at this chart. Let's say I sponsor A, who's Sally, and Sally sponsors B, who is Bob, and Bob sponsors C, who's Charlie. If I work with A, Sally, A gets excited. You get it? But if I work with C, C, B, and A get excited. That's the way it works. So in the depth building, you need to go below you, identify the stars, and you want to work with the stars. Those are the ones you want to work with because they're the ones who will build your organization. Your time works this way. In the beginning, you're going to be sharing a ton of water. But as you move forward, your personal time in this business, 10 to 20% is sharing the water. The other 80% is organization development, helping somebody else share the water, helping somebody else get water to somebody, helping somebody else bring somebody to a meeting, etc. As far as the building mode, with 20%, you should build, you should keep going sideways, but you have your time on the depth, 80%. So you're going to build wide, right, and spend 20% of your time, but you're going to have to go below to be able to secure the top. Remember, every time you work with the bottom, all the way up north, all the way to your front line gets excited. When people ask me, do I sponsor wide or deep? Okay, I never put somebody below another person unless those people know each other or are related and, and I'm trying to excite somebody. But don't forget, width in this business equals profit and depth always equals security. Power principle number 5, always pay yourself first. Anytime you make money, put some away. That's the problem in this industry of direct sales, MLM, or, fast cash, millionaire for one day type of programs. You need to put money away. Put money away. I don't know if I'm the only trainer that tells you this, but put money away. You deserve, do not pay the car payment. Do not pay any of those things. You pay yourself first, okay? Put some money in the bank, and then afterwards, if there's money left over, then go pay the electric bill, all right? If not, it'll handle itself. You know that. But again, put money away for yourself because you need to build your own funds, okay? Reinvest in your business. Always put back 10 to 20%. In other words, buy tools. I don't care what you buy out there, it doesn't not matter, but you got to have tools for you and your organization. It becomes your financial arsenal, okay? Especially if you're building an organization, you can't have you're the general, you're the leader, right? What if you're the general of your army and your army comes to you and says, hey, general, we're out of bullets, man. We ran out of bullets. What are you going to do? Say, I'm out too? You can't do that, all right? You got to go say, hey, come to me. I'll deliver it to you. You need to give your people the tools necessary, so create a sales tool inventory. Reinvest in your business. These are some power principles of this industry. Keep going over them again and again and again and get your organization to do the same. And if you do that, and if you keep recruiting, you'll build yourself an extremely successful Enagi business. I'll see you guys at one of the meetings.